Go woken, get broken. Our nation is broken. We can't put the genie back in a bottle because of the things that have happened in our country. We will never return to the nation we knew in our youth. This nation will be different going forward if it still succeeds to remain a nation. And whether or not that's a good thing, I'll leave that to you to judge. But we have a lot of issues, my friends. The immigration across the border is going to cause permanent changes in this country. Good or bad, there's something we got to learn to deal with. Like I said, we can't put the genie back in the bottle. There are things that our nation can do, and there's things that you can do as an individual to take care of yourself. That's what we're going to have to focus on, is what is in the purview of our control. But a lot of things have happened, to include our economy, our national debt. There's many ways our nation is broke. And this is going to have to be dealt with at some point. At some point, the roosters are going to come home to roost, and it's unavoidable. So let's just get ready for that day. Hi, this is Greg Allison with Green Gregs. I'm coming to you from the kingdom of the walnut. The reason I call it the kingdom of the walnut is because walnut trees change the ecology where they're at. They put toxins out in the soil that eliminate their competitors. There's a whole different cadre of plants that grows in the vicinity of this walnut tree, or these walnut trees here. And you could say I'm talking to you from Vinland, no less, and the home of critter dens out here. A rich area in the forest, a rich area in the woods. Mother Nature tends to be basically the same, as long as they don't fall under the chainsaw or bulldozer. So, or get incinerated by nuclear war, which we hope does not happen. Now, folks, what in the world are you talking about, Greg? We've had, just in the last 3 years, 8 million undocumented immigrants, as they like to call them, coming across our border. Now, Trump says he's going to send them home. Well, he may send a good part home, but he can't send the whole lot of them home, I don't think. So, maybe he can send the gang members home. That would be good. Those that hate us, maybe they can find out who is training to be in sleeper cells and get rid of them. But there's several steps that need to be taken. That might be one of them. Maybe Trump will take power. Maybe he will do that to some degree. We'll have to see how that plays out. You know, the other party will throw as many obstacles in the course of that as is possible, because they're hoping to change the voting demographic of this country to turn us all blue. And that's not going to be agreeable to every one of you, I don't think. So, and there's other things. There's the whole Cloward and Piven strategy I've been talking about, how they really do want to break this country. Well, we don't have to be broken entirely, but we're going to have to pay the debts, and we got to deal with who we're becoming. Now, a good president would do a few things. One might be to deport a lot of these people. That could be one of them. 2, I would go to the FBI and say, look, your job is not political harassment. I said, if you want a job, here's your job. Hunt down the members of the gangs, identify who's in all these gangs, who, the drug cartels, find out who is members of the sleeper cells, who are not agents of America, anybody we suspect in these areas. You need to identify them, and they need to be arrested, deported, jailed, put in prison, whatever is needed, or constantly monitored. I would tell them, that's the only job you got. If you can't do that job, bye-bye, go home. Your agency has done some very unsavory things and interfering in politics in this nation, and your existence without doing things, without returning to your law enforcement roots, is highly in question. The agency needs to return to a solid core of law enforcement, and I think the leadership needs to be gutted. A lot of good rank and file people in those agencies, but that's a whole other matter. So they've not been doing the job that we American citizens would expect and hope that they would do, in my humble opinion. All right, that's one thing that could be done. Well, that's 2, because of deportation, and that would be the focus of deportation, is get the criminals out. The third thing is How do you assimilate who's here? There are still going to be people here. And it's not just them. We've got a lot of American youth who've been raised on this whole idea that America is terrible. It's the worst nation that ever exists, and the worst human beings that ever walked the earth were our founding fathers. They think Hitler was great compared to them, I suppose. I don't know what they think. But their heads have been full of mush in the school system. No, they weren't perfect. No human being's perfect. They had their problems, but they started a pathway toward liberty. Yeah, some of them had slaves, but what they opened up was a huge game changer. It took 200 years to unfold. The vision they planted took 200 years to mature, and now we're squandering it. So what we need to do is codify what is important, what the dream is. And it knows no color. Freedom knows no color. Capitalism, in the true entrepreneurial sense, knows no color, knows no race, knows no creed, knows no religion, no ethnicity. All these things are open books for these ideas. They're ideas. They're free and available to anyone. They're not about prejudice, they're about opportunity. Opportunity, freedom to act, freedom to think, freedom to excel. We need to imbue our own young people. They need more work on this than anybody. And the immigrants need to be brought up to the vision of what this country is supposed to be and could be. And maybe they could help us, because here's the other thing. The immigrants, a lot of them, actually have good, strong family values. Yeah, the Latino countries have great, strong family values. And here's another thing we ought to do. I think we ought to close the border just for the drug trade. On the drug trade category, there's a couple of things we need to do there too. Close the borders, again, hunt down these cartel members. And that's not saying we wouldn't have immigrants. We need to vet people coming in this country. We seriously need to vet people. It ain't got nothing to do with what race, creed, or color you are. I don't care about that. I care about knowing what's in your heart. Are you coming here to help us or to hurt us? Do you want to be one of us, or you just want a free ride on the gravy train? Our gravy train days are over. Our country is $34 trillion in debt. We got to pay the piper at some point. That can't continue. So, but here's a better idea. Why don't we help, if we cut off the drug supply and the cartels go broke because they can't supply America anymore, then Mexico could be, the governments in Mexico would be better equipped to deal with them. What we've done is we've enabled these drug cartels to develop their own militaries. That they challenge the state. They're more powerful than the state they live in. So let's change that and help Mexico to evolve a very prosperous, peaceful economy. And not just Mexico, all of Central and South America. Things could turn better. We need to quit pushing vulture capitalism and push freedom and opportunities, venture capitalism, entrepreneurial capitalism, let's put it that way, not the vultures type, the big corporations and big banks have been so much in favor of in this country. We need to change our foreign policy to helping these nations help themselves. And here's the thing. Mexico is our natural best trading partner in the world. They've got a huge young population there, and it's a great tourist opportunity location. Mexico is rich in ancient artifacts, archaeological wonders, and they have a deep, rich culture. There's a lot to celebrate in Mexico and with the Mexicans and people throughout Central and South America. But, you know, a lot of Americans don't even want to go there. I don't want to go there because I don't want to get snatched up by some drug cartel that want to hold me for ransom thinking they get a bunch of money for me, only to find out ain't nobody going to pay them a red penny or a nickel for me. So I would be in serious kimchi, serious trouble. So there's some things that need to be done to fix the situation, but they can make life better for everybody in the long run, except for the criminals. And you know what? I just don't have a lot of sympathy for people that want to make their trade and live and pushing things that end lives in this country. And that goes for the government that's sponsoring them over in, with the Chinese Communist Party to send fentanyl over here. But that needs to stop. Another thing we need to do to stop that is work on it on the home front, on the drug side. We need to work, again, go back to our young people and give them a vision of hope. Because the truth of the matter is, one of the reasons they're turning to drugs is they don't see a future. We need to give them some vision of self-identity, of some hope. A lot of these kids were raised without two parents, or if they had a parent or two, they were working full-time. So essentially they were raised with no parents. They've been raised by like feral kids on the street, by the school system, by their friends, by the gangs that they join. That's been their sense of camaraderie. We need to find other social structures to reinforce that, just some groups, you know, some community groups or something to try to help give these kids some sense of who they are and some hope, some goals, some aspirations. Hey, you can make it. You can actually do great and wonderful things in your life. You can find purpose and meaning in your life. You don't have to just cop out with drugs. There's other things in life that are joyous besides stuff that will destroy you. And you're destroying yourself. Don't do that. We got to give them a sense of loving themselves. Obviously, they don't have that. Or they wouldn't be doing the stuff they're doing to themselves. That would nip the bud of the demand side of the drug trade. That's got to be done too. All right, so drug trade aside, but that's a big part of the problem in this country. Another part of the problem is that we seem to think we can just live off the dole of the government infinitely, and we know that, like I said, the roosters are going to come home to roost on that. So we've got to change the mindset in this country. So I do put out videos, or I have many times, talking about hope and freedom and freedom of speech, different things like that, talking about the ills of communism and socialism. I'll do more in that area. I would ask you to hunt those on my channel and share them with your friends and family or anybody you think that could use hearing that message, including the new immigrants coming in this country. Even if they get shipped home, if you could infuse them with ideas of what's possible, who they can be, and they take that home, they'll build a better country where they come from. You see what I'm saying? These are great, timeless ideas, but we've not sold them. We tell the world that we're invading to protect and extend democracy. No, all we've been doing is extending our banking system. And, you know, some of the big corporations. We got to cut that crap out. And we got to use our troops for protecting America, not all that kind of stuff. That's another thing. So that our troops will have a reason to want to join the military, much like a lot of our ancestors did. Like, you know, when I went in the military, you know, we were a different country when I joined the Army than we are today. So I talked about that in the previous video that I just posted yesterday, that we got to wonder about the who we put in our military, including people that broke the law to join the Army, you know, come in this country illegally. So there's a lot of things that we need to work on. It can be done, but you're part of the solution, because every time you drop a pebble in the water, the rings radiate outward. That's the communication, the message. I'm dropping a pebble in the water, and I need you to help radiate this outward. Put your own thoughts into it. Just put the message out there that there's things we can do. So what else can you do? You better be prepping, because we don't know what can come at us. I'm expecting really hard times. Economic travail, possible civil war, possible World War III, possible nuclear war, possible EMP, sleeper cell attacks in this country. All these things are definitely possible. They're all too likely right now. So prep. Prep like there's no tomorrow, because we don't know if there will be one. Food shortages. We're expecting food shortages and food prices to go up. And the food you buy from the store is full of all kind of mess and junk. So grow your own as much as you can, even if it's on your windowsill, on your porch. If you put lights in a closet, or if you got a garden, even better. If you can get out in the country and get out of the city, that's even better, far better. Get out of the cities, guys. Please, get out of the built-up areas, the urban areas. That's the most important thing you can do. Go off-grid if you can, but mainly, first and foremost, have a plan to do that and get out of the urban areas. That's what I compel you to do, my friends. Get out of the urban areas. So, that said, please consider what you got to do to protect your loved ones. Check out my links to True Leaf Market and Eden Brothers. You can get seeds, they're heirloom seeds. You can plant them and you get the same plants back. So you don't have to go to the store. There might be no stores. You may not be able to buy anything 2 years from now, maybe even a year from now. So I'd get them while the getting's good. Right now you can order these seeds, True Leaf Market and Eden Brothers. Got a wide selection between them. Look at all the different garden seeds. Know this, they're non-GMO, and they are definitely seeds that are heirlooms, so you can get the same plant back, unlike the hybrid seeds that you get in a lot of garden centers, and GMO seeds you get in a lot of garden centers. These are good choices for you to consider, my friends. So with that, I'm going to say we got a lot of things coming at us. We got a lot of threats in our society today, And we don't even know which way they're going. We may not be a country soon. We may be 2 or more nations, who knows? I just hope it don't break out into war if it comes to that. But folks, the main thing I want to tell you is just keep your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. Be prepared, not scared. Thank you for watching. Greg out.